How's it going, everyone? It's Milwaukee coming back at you once again, and today we are going to be discussing The Flash, The Dastardly Death of the Rogues by Jeff Johns with art by Francis Manapul. Let's get into it. Story starts off with a quick action piece, The Flash taking out the Trickster before he goes to work and meets his new team in the forensics lab. After getting caught up and meeting all of his new co-workers, there's a crisis event. Well, I shouldn't say crisis, this is DC. But there's an incident where the body of the Mirror Master shows up in the middle of the street, and Barry Allen and his team, they get there, and he lifts up the Mirror Master's mask, and it turns out that this is not the Mirror Master Barry knows. So a mysterious light show starts going off up in the sky. This looks like a job for the Flash, right? So Flash runs up a building, and he goes up there, and it turns out that this light show was nothing more than the Renegades appearing in Barry Allen's timeline. These are the rogues from the 25th century that are here to arrest Barry Allen for the murder of the Mirror Master. After a brief scuffle, Barry ends up sending the Renegades back to the 25th century, and when he's back in the crime lab, it's discovered that his blood is actually on the body of the Mirror Master. How did that happen? So the Renegades, after regrouping in the 25th century, they come back and they arrest Barry Allen, only for Captain Boomerang, fresh out of prison, to make the save inadvertently because he was just trying to kill the Flash. Then the rest of the rogues show up to take out these wannabe rogues, and it's rogues versus Renegades in an all-out battle. The Renegades, with their advanced technology, end up prevailing in that battle, and they arrest Flash and take him to the 25th century, where he will stand trial against like the ultimate judge or whatever. The Flash, he ends up escaping captured by the Renegades and steals one of their time-traveling hoverboards or whatever, goes back to the 21st century just in time to save his wife Iris, and in doing so, he changes the future by altering the past. You know, I feel like this story is like a tale of two Barry Allens. Not that there's two Barry Allens in the story. It's just I really enjoyed this story. I enjoyed this interpretation of Barry Allen by Jeff Johns. But in everything else I've been reading with Barry, in it, such as, Blackest Night, Brightest Day, Green Lantern, Barry's been making appearances. In those stories, Barry's kind of been like a bitch. But here, Barry, it's just a good story. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the art by Francis Manapul. Really great stuff here. Really, I don't want to say frenetic or whatever, but there's like a lot of movement. This is the Flash, right? So people are always on the move. They're getting their coffee. The way it's drawn, you got to see it. And I'll, of course, show you examples here in the video. But it really just lends itself well to the Flash, and it makes for an enjoyable story. And the story, by Jeff Johns here, with the Renegades and the Rogues, it's just good stuff. There's one part in the story that I didn't really like. I thought I was like, I don't know about that. Apparently, like the old Mirror Master, he left like this special mirror that in case the Flash ever returned, they should break the glass. It says if Flash returns, break the glass. And it's like a big part of the story here where Barry ends up breaking the glass, and the glass shows him a vision, and that vision of his, Barry Allen with his elderly mother. And this is ultimately what makes Barry go down that path for Flashpoint. And this story with him, altering the future by changing the past. So it really sort of gives him the confidence to attempt Flashpoint, right? Where he goes back to try to save his mother and ruins the universe. So the seeds for that are planted here. I felt like that was done kind of well, I guess. The whole break glass in case Flash returns. There was already another Flash, Wally West. It's not like it had to be. It's not like Barry's the best Flash or whatever, But I'll allow it, whatever. Like I said, the art was top notch. There were some good character moments. Barry is known as like this slow guy in his real life, but of course he's really the fastest man alive. So his boss at the forensics lab is always harping on him, hurry up, Alan. Move it, Alan. When his blood ends up on the dead body, the guy's like, oh, you contaminated the crime scene. But of course, Barry didn't. So he was like, how did my blood get on this guy's body? The renegades must be telling the truth. Why would I murder this guy? And of course, you go through the whole story. And you find out what happened. There's a traitor amongst the renegades and so on and so forth. But as far as like the first volume of this volume of The Flash, I found it enjoyable. At least, well, I should say there's a seventh issue where it's like Captain Boomerang. And he goes on to break out of prison, the Reverse Flash, and that's going to lead into like the next volume, and ultimately the Flashpoint. But it feels kind of tacked on. It's a brightest day tie-in, whatever. Uh, but yeah, pretty good stuff here. Enjoyable, high quality art. You can't go wrong if you decide to pick up the Dastardly Death of the Rogues. So I'm going to go ahead and give this one 4 out of 5. Really enjoyed the ride. Looking forward to what comes next. Looking forward to Flashpoint. So, until next time, see you there.